without any discrimination. There is not similar antecedents. To cause what? An implosion inside the Venezuelan people. But the unity of the people under the leadership of Nicolas Maduro is undefeatable. And this is the message that I want to give today in the 56th anniversary of the public ministry. They have violated international right. The United Nations Convention for the Right of the Sea. A civilian ship was destroyed in international waters. It was not just known by United Nations. Nothing of that has happened. If a vessel is not a threat, the use of lethal force is a violation to the humanitarian rights. I said that before. I said we are with what had happened in Venezuela and in the Caribbean at the door of the extinction of the international and public rights and the international human rights. They have burned all law books, all international treatment on human rights, from the Declaration of the Man and Citizenship due to the French Revolution centuries back to the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights on December the 10th, signed 1948. They have burned with these actions the International Pact of Civilian Rights, the American Convention of Human Rights. All what have to do with this topic literally has been taken to a fire. And we have to raise our voices, because from here, literally, any excuse, any citizen on the ship to be killed, assassinated, it is done. Has happened. We have to raise the planet voice against them. I want to highlight that by the crime of drug dealing, 52,209 accusations and to 60,820 imputation in the last 6 years, and they have been condemned 21,370 people processed. Tell me a country that have figures like this, as high, as stunning. Till this day, 317 tons of illicit drugs, 280.7 tons of cocaine, 85.3 of marijuana. I am speaking about the last 8 years. Yesterday was commemorated International Day of the Fight Against Violence Against Women. Until the date, we have given 600,000 protection to women. That is very important. Defending women to avoid an event against the woman. We have 76,000 imputations, 76,000 accusations, and we have 8,600 sentences. All citizens that consider to attack a woman, stalking, psychological or physical, will have all the law on it. 1,081 feminicides, 600 victims were condemned. Human rights, that is another point, because of my large fight for the human rights to the committees of human rights, Commission of Petare in the 80s, at the beginning of 90s. I lead the human rights in the municipality of Caracas, And obviously, President of the Human Rights of the Constitutive Assembly is another point of this topic to preserve the human rights in our country. Since our arrival to the public ministry, 3,116 functionaries has been punished, 42,000 has been condemned. Functions that are 1,239 has been condemned. All these ciphers are important because the enemy play a lot with this narration to undermine the dignity of the Venezuelan state. Let's compare all this that we have said with the 60, 70, and 80, 90, of course. My God, in that epoch, if you go to the public ministry that was tied about walking around up and down, you went to the law office, and who received you look with a person with a bad face. It took out your spirit. There was not empathy. Who was the victim of a violation of human rights? Of course, there were exceptions. I remember Olazo, the father, my big brother. I ask you a big applause for him. He was director of human rights in the 90s. He was a big friend, a big brother. But these were exceptions, impressive exceptions. Maybe because of his his Christian. But it was good to remember that. The absolute change with the impunity, 5,000 killed in the 60s, 50,000 taken to trials without orders, 3,000 disappeared just in the so-called counter-insurgent fight to exterminate a whole generation of leaders of the revolution. And they keep on in the 70s with selective killing. Saul León, Rafael Calderón, selective killings. Cases like Fabricio Ojeda, a leader who founded, he was the most voted deputy in the Congress when they overtook his triumph. Betancourt imposed by a force in the 50s, taking the victory from